Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I also want to say welcome to all of my new subscribers. I'm so glad you're here. My name is Stav and this is She Equips Herself. And today I'm here at the range with Mac, my boyfriend. He's too tall to fit in the frame, so he's gonna come in later. And we're gonna go over the two most basic skills you need to hit what you're aiming at. And we're gonna show you a couple simple drills that you can do on your own at the range. A lot of people might not take classes because they're nervous that they can't hit what they're aiming at. This will give you more confidence to go to the range, to take classes, and maybe even try competition. I do want to say that I haven't been to the range in quite a few months because of COVID, so I might be a little rusty, but I'll do my best. Alright guys, I'm here at home right now and I'm just going to talk a little bit about sight alignment, which is when you align your sights, as the name might suggest. We've got an empty gun here and I'm just going to show you how to align your sights. So let's let that slide go. So you've got your front sight and your rear sights. And the rear sight has a notch in it, and that's where you want your front sight to go. I'm just going to put a dot on my target so you can see if I was theoretically going to aim right here, say that's my target. So on most self-defense guns, the dot that's on your front sight, you can see that dot right there, that's where your bullet's going to hit, not the top. So you want to put the front dot right on top of your target, and then your rear sight on the sides, and you want to have equal height and equal light. And what that means is, if I just draw it bigger, say this is my rear sight, it's got the two dots here. And then when you put your front sight in the middle, it's like that. So you're aligning the three dots. You want to have equal height, so this is all the same height right here. And equal light. So from here to here, on the sides, you want that to be equal. So equal height, equal light. So you want the same amount of light coming through here. If this is too far this way, so if you've got it like this, and your front sight is way over here, you can see that's not equal. You want the space here and the space here to be equal, and you want it aligned at the top. And then the front sight is going to be right on top of where you're aiming. So my front dot is going to be right on top of this. So you've got the front sight right in the middle and aligned with the top and right on top of what you're aiming at. This is really hard to do with a camera in front of me. But anyway, that's sight alignment. Equal height, equal light. Okay, back to the range. I think it's important when you practice to practice from concealment, because that's going to be the way that you're going to be carrying if you ever need to use your gun. So I just want to show you guys, this is what I'm carrying in today. It's my Dean Adams corset holster. I've got my gun, my Smith & Wesson shield right here, and my extra magazine in a Neo Mag on the other side. So Mac has been a firearms instructor for like 20 years. So he's gonna explain the drills while I shoot.
All right guys, so the first drill, I have to bend over to stay in the shot because Stav's so little, but we're gonna do what's called a one-hole drill. And the reason why we're gonna do a one-hole drill, and what it is Stavroula's gonna load up her firearm with 5 rounds. She's gonna put 1 round in the target, and then that's gonna leave a 9mm hole in the target. Actually, it'll leave slightly smaller than a 9mm hole in the target because she's shooting full metal jacket. So she'll shoot a hole in the target, and then she's gonna have 4 rounds remaining in her gun. And she's gonna try to put all 4 of those rounds in the original bullet hole. Now we're gonna do this at 3 yards. Sometimes people do this as close as 1.5 yards. The reason why you do it so close is we're kind of trying to take all the other variables out of the accuracy process. So when you're super close, I mean, no one can hold the gun perfectly still. There's always some movement there. So the gun looks like it's moving a lot less when you're real close. So that way you can really focus on the major purpose of this drill.
Sorry, I'm freaking out because there's a butterfly right now. Okay, I'm sorry.
Where was I?
No.
I might have to kill that thing.
It likes my camera.
We shoot at 3 yards or even in is so that we can focus on what the goal of this drill is, and that's trigger control. Most people, once they learn sight alignment and they understand it, the reason why they miss is because when they pull the trigger, they move the gun off course. Most right-handed shooters are going to miss low left, and most left-handed shooters are going to miss low right, and that's because your body is trying to already accommodate for the recoil that it knows is coming before the bullet actually leaves the barrel. Some people call it a flinch. It's more of a timing issue, to tell you the truth, because you do need to control recoil, but you need to control recoil after the bullet has left the firearm. So we're going to practice firing all 5 bullets into one hole. We're going to do it from super close range, and that way we can really focus on trigger control and not worry so much about our gun moving.
Make sure you've got your eye and ear protection. Very important. When you're doing any drills at the range like this, I think it's really important to actually use a holster, and every time you're gonna shoot, draw from your holster, because that's just extra practice you can get drawing from your holster, which doesn't hurt.
All right, guys, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna have Stav do that one hole drill. I'm gonna have her fire up here, because why waste the entire target? We're gonna do more drills. So we're just gonna fire the one hole drill up in the corner. So Stav, go ahead and load. One hole drill when you're ready. Nice and smooth. Let the gun surprise you. Nice and smooth. Slow down, let the gun surprise you. Smooth. Conduct your reload. Scan and holster. So I'm going to grab this. Okay, so at 3 yards, all her bullets are touching. That's good. But I tell you, Stavroula's way better than that. It's the fact that she hasn't fired a gun since the beginning of COVID, I'm sure. All right, guys, so Stav's going to do another one-hole drill. The beautiful thing about one-hole drills is, they don't use that many rounds, and you can shoot a bunch of them before you have to change your paper target. So she's going to go just a little bit to the left of that, and she's going to do another one-hole drill. Stav, whenever you're ready.
That last shot threw me off.
So she did good again. All bullets touching. I know she could do better. I know she's probably not happy with that.
Nope.
But she's going to go again. Just so you guys understand what's actually at play here, Stavroula is pulling the trigger, and she's just being nice and slow. And the idea is this. None of us can hold the gun perfectly still. So the gun is kind of floating. Like anything in water, it kind of floats, it kind of moves, because nobody can hold things perfectly still. The earth is rotating, the tides are ebbing and flowing. All right, the sun is coming up, the moon is coming up, the sun is going down. The world is in constant motion. To think that you can hold a gun perfectly still, that's just never going to happen. You cannot hold it perfectly still. So it's okay that the gun is moving, and you as a shooter have to get comfortable knowing I can't hold it perfectly still. Now within that, while the gun is slightly moving, you're going to just keep adding pressure to that trigger until the gun goes off. You do not want the gun to go off in an exact moment in time. You want your gun to go off within a window of time. Now you understand the window of time because you're applying pressure to the trigger, but you do not want it to go off at exact moment in time. What happens is a lot of people, they have their rear sight and their front sight. As the sights kind of drift around and they're moving, a lot of people will pull the trigger to the rear when the sights are drifting over the center of their target. And that makes them miss generally way more than if they just allowed the gun to float, understood that it's okay that it floats, and just kept adding pressure to the trigger until the gun went off. Right? Then you'd be super close every single time. It's difficult, it's a psychological game, but she's going to just keep adding pressure to the trigger until essentially the gun surprises her. It's not like, oh my God, I had no idea the gun was gonna go off, but the gun's going off in a window of time, not an exact moment in time. That will make you flinch. Just keep adding pressure till the gun shoots, then reacquire your sights and do it until you're out of ammunition. So she's gonna do another one here.
All right, here we go again.
If you guys can see Stav's targets, come over here. You could tell she's doing a really good job. So she's probably exercising good trigger control. It can always be better, but all her bullets are touching, okay? Now that's good shooting, that's good. What I see all the time is what I'm gonna demo for you. I'm gonna deliberately shoot this the way I see a lot of new students shoot it. So when you see your target, you'll go, okay, I get what I'm doing wrong. And I'll tell you exactly what it is before I do it. A lot of people take up the slack in their trigger because they want to use good trigger control. So they take up the slack and they kind of hold it right on the verge of the gun firing. They're right on the edge of that trigger breaking, as it's called. And then they wait for their sights to slide over the middle of it and they pop that last little bit, boom. And what's that do? As a right-handed shooter, it makes you shoot low left. As a left-handed shooter, it makes you shoot low right. So it's really important when you take up that slack and you kind of hit that wall, you don't pop through the wall. You just keep adding pressure through the wall. This is what it looks like when people take up the slack and then flinch it low, okay? So I'm just gonna demo it for you. I'm gonna shoot up in the shield area. Here we go, here's the first shot. Now they'll put one in the target and then you'll see this. You'll see this. It'll string down. It'll string over here. They'll shoot like that. They'll shoot low left each time. And what you can see is, this would be the original shot, and then they're gonna string at an angle. If they're right-handed, it looks like this. If they're left-handed, it looks like this. There's my original shot. There's two more. There's two more. That is a very common trigger control problem. That's not what we want. What we want to do is add pressure to that trigger, make that gun go bang without moving the gun at all. So if this is part of your problem, if you're in this neighborhood, we're gonna show you a drill right now that'll fix you. All right guys, so as the coach today, or as just the assistant, I'm gonna set up Stavroula's mags for her. All right, so that way we can see if she's flinching. So we're gonna see on film if she's flinching or not. Right now, we're gonna test her.
Oh boy.
So what I'm gonna do is, whatever you have for magazines, you just load half live rounds, half dummy rounds. So I'm gonna give her a 10-round magazine, which is another reason why I like the Shield, is you can have 10-round magazines. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take her magazine and I'm going to load these. She's kind of cheating right now because she's doing the filming, but I'm gonna load these.
I'll look away.
I'm gonna load these in a random order. She is actively looking away.
I'm looking away.
So you could see I'm putting maybe 1 live round, 1 dummy round, 2 live rounds, 1 dummy round, or 3 dummy, or whatever. I'm loading them in a different order so that she doesn't know what's going to happen. So she doesn't know the status of her firearm. Now the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put my hand on top of it so she can't see it. Now she has no idea. She can't cheat. So we're good to go here. All right? So I'm gonna load this magazine for her. We're gonna do it on film so you can see exactly how to do it. And it includes, as the coach, making sure that your shooter is looking away. And also, every time that she needs to manually put a new round in the chamber, because obviously the dummy rounds are not gonna make the slide go to the rear, she has to turn her head, and I'll remind her of that, so she can't see a flash of the dummy rounds. So she'll know if it's a live round or a dummy round. Be real, like watch for that gun. When she gets a click and not a bang, we'll see if she's flinching at all. We're gonna set up this camera so you can see it real good, okay?
Pressure's on. I moved the camera so you guys can see my hands, so you can see if I flinch or not. Hopefully, I don't embarrass myself.
All right, so what we're gonna do is, as the coach, I'm gonna step her through this process. All right, go ahead, Stav. Go ahead, draw your gun. Keep it pointed down range. Turn your head away from the firearm. Now go ahead and keep your head turned that way. Rack your first round. And now go ahead and holster. So she did not get to see if it's a live round or a dummy round. So here we go. Woo. Nice and slow, smooth. I tell you what, we'll have her shoot dead center in the middle of the target, right up in the middle of the top circle, just so you can all see what's going on. Here we go. Whenever you're ready. Nice and smooth. Did you see the movement there? I hope everyone in YouTube land saw her movement. So now, because she got a click, she knows she was on a dummy round. Turn your head away from the gun and cycle the weapon. Okay, now she doesn't know again if she's got a live round or a dummy round. Nice and smooth. Remember, let the gun surprise you. Just keep adding pressure. Let the gun surprise you. Nice. Boom. And it's a perfect shot, dead center in the middle. Watch her gun as she continues this drill. Nice and smooth. Nice and smooth. Let the gun surprise you. Now there you go. Perfect trigger control. The gun did not move at all. We got a click. Turn you away from the gun. Cycle it. Let the gun surprise you. It's okay that it's moving. Another perfect trigger control. Not flinching at all. Let the gun surprise you. Excellent shot. Now, all of you watching, that gun recoiled more than it usually does because she thought it was a dummy round. So we're playing psychological games with her right here. But it's why she just shot a perfect shot, though. Let it surprise you. Nice, perfect. No movement there. Just a tiny bit of movement, a very good trigger control. Very good. And she's empty. And before we even have a chance, I'm going to show you how good of a shot she did. Boom. And that's an excellent one-hole drill. Very, very good. Very few flinches there. Very, very, very few. What I'm going to do, just because I like to demo this so everyone can see what's actually going on, I'm going to do that same drill. I'm going to have Stav line it up for me in the same way, but I'm going to deliberately flinch so you can see what the gun looks like when someone's flinching. And you as a shooter, what you should see is your front sight going low. It'll probably dip. So it's within the rear sight, your front sight's there, and your front sight will go boop. It'll just boop, drop a little bit. Let me set this up so you can see a deliberate flinch.
Look at how my magazine landed. Weird. All right, draw your firearm. Look away. I don't want to pinch you. Okay. Now he didn't see what just went in there.
All right, so I'm going to shoot directly below Stav's really good one-hole drill. Watch my gun, because when I hit that dummy round, you're going to see some excessive movement out of it. So I'm going to come up. You see all that? Here we go. Deliberate flinch. This is... All right, you see, as I pulled the trigger, I dipped, and that's extraordinarily common. The first time you do this, that is what you should expect to see. Expect to see that front sight kind of disappear. What you want to do again, and I say this over and over and over again, is let the gun surprise you. Just keep adding weight to the trigger. Just keep adding 1 ounce at a time until the gun goes bang. We're not working on self-defense training here. Stav has all sorts of videos planned for self-defense shooting. This is just basic marksmanship training, something you want to know so as you move forward in your self-defense training, you have confidence. You know that you can hit what you're aiming at, and then you're just going to speed up the time. Now that we've gone over the one-hole drill, and we've gone over what's called the ball and dummy drill, which is when we use normal bullets and dummy rounds, now what we're going to do is we're going to do a one-hole drill adding yardage. So what she's going to do is fire 5 rounds from the 3-yard line, 5 rounds from the 5-yard line, 5 rounds from the 7-yard line, 5 rounds from the 10-yard line, and 5 rounds from the 15-yard line. And her ultimate goal with this particular target is to keep everything inside the small circle. All right. What I'm going to do is I'm going to film her as she goes, and we're just going to do it all in a row in one take. So here we go. 5 rounds, one-hole drill, dead center in the middle of that target. Whenever you're ready, go ahead and load and begin the drill. Holster. You leave your mag right there on the deck. We'll come back for it.
Oh, so hot.
That's pretty good. Pretty good. Now, let's go back to the 5-yard line. Now slow down because you shot a little too fast.
Okay.
One-hole drill. Keep them all in that target, in that same area. Whenever you're ready, 5 rounds. Pay no attention to the 90-degree heat.
Oh my God.
Still shooting fast. She opened up a little bit because of the distance. Now we're going to the 7. Whenever you're ready. Still excellent shooting. Here comes the 10-yard line. Back to the 10.
No.
That's okay. I'll load your last mag for you. Here. Loosening it up just a little bit, but she's still inside that circle. 10 yards.
Ready?
Ready. I never stopped rolling. Okay, so we just finished the 15. Let's go see how she did. Now, Stav was shooting a little fast for my taste. I'd rather she slows down, but she still shot excellent. She threw 1 out. You break the line, it counts as the better of the shot. So she kept them all in there. She threw 1 out. 5 rounds from each yard line. That drill, 5 rounds each yard line, it helps with the psychology of shooting. Because as you go back, you think it gets much harder, but nothing really changes. What happens is your little screw-ups are magnified by distance. So that little micro screw-up you had at 3 yards that makes it not a perfect 1-hole drill takes you out of the circle at 10 or 15 yards. Smooth, slow, deliberate firing, and you'll get real accurate real fast.
Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Remember, even if you're a little nervous to go to a class and do trainings and stuff, or even just to go to the range, it's really good practice and it's a lot of fun. So you gotta kind of build up that confidence and get yourself out there. Because the more you practice and the more you train, the more classes you take, the better you'll get. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please make sure you subscribe. Leave me a comment below and let me know if you try any of these drills and if you like them. And I'll see you in the next one. Stay safe. Bye.